Hello, hello, and welcome to Simulacra Studios presents Vampire the Masquerade, Burn It Down. I am your storyteller, Scott. Before we bring on our lovely players, I have a couple of announcements that I'd like to make. The first one is a bit serious in that I kind of have to pull the curtain back a little bit once again because 2020 is the year where the apocalypse starts, apparently. Just like with COVID-19, there's definitely going to be unrest on the streets of Atlanta in the coming sessions in this particular version of the World of Darkness, but it is not going to be the events that have precipitated the unrest that's erupting over the country and the world. The death of George Floyd, the murder of George Floyd, are not going to be replicated in this version of the World of Darkness. I don't want to make light or utilize real-world tragedy and suffering for my own game, but, hey, a cop might do something stupid that precipitates some nonsense that the vampires will take advantage of. Because, hey, that's not a stretch of imagination. I wanted to make that clear just because we don't need to be that way. Secondly, better, more hopeful and bright announcement. This coming weekend, I will be I'll be running a number of games for Onyx Path Virtual Gaming Convention, including on Saturday night at 5 p.m. on the Onyx Path YouTube channel. I will be running an actual play of Trinity Continuum Aeon for a number of people, and that's going to be super fun. So check it out there. It'll be there and maybe on my YouTube channel. I don't know. I got to talk to them about that. But check that out. Unfortunately, all the games that I'm running are sold out for the general populace, which is good for me, but bad for you. But anyway, let's bring on our lovely players. Hi, guys.
Hey, what's up?
Hi.
Hi.
Good evening, everyone. I'm McKenna. I play Cadence, a very angry Gangrel, and I'm looking forward to possibly punching someone's teeth in tonight. We'll see what happens.
Fantastic.
That is the kind of thing she does. Hey, everybody. My name is James. I will be playing Alex, DJ Second Sight Mars, your seer/general guy who makes sure that the plot does not move forward in a timely fashion.
Oh, we love you for it.
I know.
Hi, it's me, Mo. I'm going to be playing Willow tonight, who is still struggling to find the true meaning of Christmas.
It's true. She is.
Aren't we all?
And I'm going to be playing Roman, and he's probably going to find the meaning of Christmas. And it definitely involves necromancy.
But that's not till Easter.
That's true.
Right. Damn it.
There.
Oh, no.
That was a good one. So we're
Yeah,
actually going to pick
singer.
back up right where we left off last session. All of you, I think, had just left the Ministry's compound where you had gotten your Tremere friend Malthus to find out what you could find out regarding the mirror and the fate of your coterie mate Madison. And I believe you all were kind of, unless I'm mistaken, I think you were kind of going your separate ways. Willow, you were last seen in the car with Julia, having
Yes.
kind of a heart-to-heart in which she gave you a lovely poem that was just great. And Cadence, I know you were talking with the circulatory system guy, getting some ice cream. And I don't think I know exactly what Alex and Roman were up to. So why don't we start with checking?
I think
where
we were
they going.
Yeah, I think we were just chatting.
Yeah, that's right. You guys had a conversation.
Roman had just said, "Good talk, Alex," and walked away.
Yeah. Was that happening in the communal haven?
I think it was happening just...
we were just outside of the Setite's place.
All right. So
Yep.
So you were there at the main place. So that's where you guys are.
Mhm.
Okay. So where are you both going to be headed after that?
I would have probably go back to the communal haven at this point.
Okay. What about you?
I would likely check in, make sure I'm not needed for anything over at the Setite place. If not, I go back to the communal haven as well.
Okay. And I believe that's where Willow was headed as well with Julia.
Yes.
Or were you headed back to your place to get Julia set up for the night?
Yeah, that was something I was going to bring up. I'm probably going to set her up so she is good to go.
Cool.
Um,
All right.
yeah.
And who? We need to. I would probably say that Malthus would have come with you, Willow. He was just been
Uh-huh.
quiet in the back of the car, probably listening to a podcast or something.
Oh,
But
with his headphones
Wasn't he with me
on.
at the circuit with the
oh,
circular?
that's right. He was.
Yes.
With you. That's right. Yeah, it's exactly where he was.
Yep.
So, well, which is actually where we're going to pick back up. So,
Okay.
the white suited, glitter bearded madman goes into the back of the ice cream bus and is there for maybe about 10-ish minutes. And then you hear a voice from the back just say, "Come around back."
She does.
So yeah, you and Malthus head around back. He opens up the back of the bus, and he starts to sort of like roll out this large cooler that has a lot of stuff attached to it. It's got like a small it's like, you know, kind of like this rectangular battery. It's not like a car battery, but it's more than just, you know, some double A's. And that is sort of connected to a couple of electronic things. Like there's a filter that's going. There's a pump system. You think you see some sort of like heat, like sous vide heating element. Like this plastic cooler has been heavily modified, and it's fairly big. And so he just sort of like rolls it out and like says, "You might want to get the other end and lower it down."
She's very confused, but she helps out.
You know, she's like, "All right, well, you know, this is what we got. If you you know, want to get your needs taken care of."
Can we take this with us?
Yeah, no, it's yours. I mean, you paid me $10,000, so, you know, have fun.
Do I get an instruction manual?
Yeah, you open it up. There's blood inside. Sorry, ice cream inside.
The mask slips.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Fucking whatever.
He's all like, look, we got to keep it fresh. You know, you got to keep it circulated. You got to keep the air oxygenated. You wanted this to keep, right? For like a little bit, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I didn't break the fucking thing.
I mean, don't like fucking play go-karts with it.
Okay.
Just, you know, roll it and it should be fine. You know, all of this keeps it for a little bit, but I would say you probably maybe a couple hours after sundown tomorrow. Maybe. I do it sooner.
All right.
Sooner the better. This is all just a stopgap measure.
All right, gotcha. She'll finish sort of getting it onto the pavement.
Yeah, Malthus helps you out, and he kind of
Okay.
settle it down. And yeah, then you have to roll this fucking cooler back to your place.
Yeah. How far is that?
It's a couple blocks.
If it's only a couple blocks, that's fine.
Right.
She knows which back streets to stick to, where it wouldn't be too awful.
Yeah. So eventually, everyone
Obvious.
gets back to the communal haven. I say, who wants to be pulling in while Cadence and Malthus are rolling this cooler into the parking lot? Which pair are you?
Do you guys want
Uh,
You know what? Yes, because I want to traumatize Roman a little bit more. So you
Okay.
go.
All right.
please.
Fair enough.
Jeez.
Yeah. So yeah, you see Malthus and Cadence like gingerly rolling this massive cooler with all sorts of bits and bobs on it.
Hi. I look back down on my phone. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm sure I don't want to be a part of it.
Ugh. She says, "Well, why don't you get the door?"
Yeah, so you guys managed to get this thing inside. I'd say you guys probably have maybe about 2.5 hours before sunrise, so you got time to get some shit done. But it's still getting close to time.
he's getting there.
So, before anyone asks any questions, this is full of juice for our cockroach friend.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, are we sure about that?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
honestly, given that this, whatever the cockroach or whoever that actually is like the only person who can give us an accurate, maybe not accurate or unbiased, but untampered with account of what went down in this city before we got here, I'm down for interrogating it. And
Yeah.
besides, it's going like just because we're waking it up, we can restrain it, we can take proper precautions, and if things go south, I just stab it to death. I'm good at that.
Do we have a wooden paralytic?
Ooh, nice word.
Yeah.
We can acquire one.
Yeah, you guys have enough furniture and lumber from the renovations to have made a couple of good sturdy stakes.
Alrighty. Well, I guess I know what I'll do.
Mouth is kind of, he's like, yeah, this should be, it's not enough to kill the beast entirely, as it were, but
I don't think we want to kill him
well,
necessarily.
I'm talking about the beast within, the eternal hunger that we all have to.
Oh, right. That I forgot about that for just a moment.
That old chestnut. But yeah, I mean, this seems like better than just letting it rage and eat one or more of us. So if y'all want to take care of this tonight, I'm good to go.
Well, I mean, he said this will keep until, what do you say, a couple hours after sunset tomorrow?
On the outside, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, let's just go ahead and do it.
Okay.
Because if it's going to kill us, then I'd rather know that, tonight, because that way I don't have to do my show tomorrow.
True, I got a lot going on tomorrow.
Yeah.
Better do it tonight.
All right, so you guys bring the cooler downstairs. I'm going to assume you guys can figure out probably the best place to do this is in the room where you found him, because it's very sturdy, it's very controllable. There's one exit. You can block him off as best as you can from that. You guys, what kind of precautions do you like actively restrain him, like put some chains on him?
I would like to zip tie his appendages together if that's
They're
possible.
so crispy at this point.
They are very crispy. You have to do
I want to check and see if I have enough XP for a discipline real quick.
Okay.
Oh no. Okay, I'm one shy. All right.
Gotcha.
I won't passions him the moment he wakes up.
Oh my. So yeah. You guys are able to restrain him as best as you think you possibly can. Who's sitting at the ready for the steak?
I'm on steak duty.
Okay.
Cool.
I would also like to have Cadence have her claws out just in case.
Noted. Go ahead and make the rouse check for that.
Which she succeeds. Surprise.
So you guys, someone opens up the cooler, and you are all sort of immediately met with the smell of hot, fresh blood. What's everyone's hunger at?
Oh no.
I'm at 1.
I'm at
1.
3.
Okay. Alex, please roll me your unspent willpower.
Oh, okay. That's not what I wanted, but I guess
you should have all of it. It's a new
I
session.
do. I've got quite a lot, but still.
Just put your face in there. It'll be okay, right? It'll be fine.
Thank you so much. I got 2 hits.
Yeah, no, you're able to keep it in check. I mean, it's every one of you wants it because it's real good, but you're all able to keep yourselves in check.
Thanks.
So Malthus basically he rolls up his sleeves. He makes a few sort of arcane gestures, and you all feel this sort of internal pressure as his blood condenses and potency comes up. Like the smell off of him for a brief moment gets a little intoxicating, and then it sort of calms back down. And he cuts his palm, puts it in a little cup, and like gets like he has like a little like coat hanger, and he puts it on, and you guys position him so like his like mandible is hanging open, and he pours the blood into the mouth of the cockroach. For a few seconds, nothing happens, but then there's a shudder in the desiccated body. And then just terrible rustling and clicking as the body starts to move. And with as much mobility as you've allowed it, does just immediately start like moving its body towards the fresh blood. Does anyone do anything about this?
Just kind of
gonna-
kick the jar closer
Yeah,
without
push
being
it a little
close to
closer.
it.
Yeah, I know.
Can I start pulling in? This is the scene I want to come into.
Okay, yeah. Okay. This is well. If you were with Malthus, then you would have been here by now.
I wasn't with Malthus. Malthus was with McKenna.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Cadence.
Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, if you want to be coming down
I'm
the
gonna
stairs,
pull up.
yeah, if you want to be coming down the stairs while this happens, that's perfectly fine. And like yeah, Julia has basically before she came down, she said that she needed to make some calls. And she'll stay up in the upper part. So yeah, you come in and you see this thing just start to writhe and chitter, and then just face first into the cooler of blood. And
Okay,
there's this
started
terrible slurping, just gurgling sound.
Oh, I don't like that. I
Let
don't
me
like
go
that.
get my gun, guys. Why didn't you? What the fuck do you have ready? I run to my room to go get my gun, a bigger gun.
Okay.
I don't know that that's going to do anything, but all right.
Yeah, and
Neat.
this goes on for several minutes as it just gorges itself, and as it does, that sort of dry, desiccated part of its body just starts to flush and become more filled out as blood starts running through the various insectoid capillaries. The wings kind of extend on its back a little bit as the pumping motion fills up the tiny microcapillaries. And eventually it stops its convulsive gurgling and just sort of leans itself back up. And it's got these wide, multifaceted bug eyes that are just taking you in, like barely moving its neck, but clearly taking in everything about what's going on.
Cadence
Hey,
is gonna
buddy.
she's gonna kneel down so she's eye level with it. Just be like, hi.
And it just like its mandibles like chitter a little bit, because there's nothing about this mouth that's built for human speech.
Mhm.
It occurs to me that we didn't think that it might not speak English before.
But it kind of like starts to like back itself back into the room a little bit. And then in a motion that's most reminiscent of a cat beginning to throw up, it starts to just sort of like work its neck and like hunch its shoulders, and there's this terrible gagging sound as it sort of leans back its head, and this inhuman looking organ just comes out of its throat. And it's in the shape of a human mouth, but it's not comprised of human-looking flesh. Like there's like a flat bone ridge for teeth, like leathery flaps for lips, and it just starts to move her, and this is in sort of a clipped, accentless dialect. It says, "Who are you?"
Well, I'm Cadence. That's Alex. We got Roman, a friend Malthus, and is Willow back in the room yet?
Yeah, she's coming down like right now. Like, oh my
And
god.
that chick over there is Willow. We live here now. We found you, and then we woke you up.
Who do you serve?
No one in particular at the moment.
Are
Yeah, that's like sort of our whole thing is that we don't serve anyone.
Are you of the sword?
No,
No, not anymore.
no.
I mean, I'm not anymore. She never was. I'm gonna guess from your whole aesthetic that you are. Well, we're not enemies of the sword. We're just currently unaffiliated.
Octarchus?
No. I don't know what that word means, but we're anarchs.
Ha!
We all jump.
Pretenders.
Right. Yeah, we don't have to get in the weeds on philosophy here, but we did not feel like it was just for you to just be shoved in a piece of the wall and forgotten. Especially with everything that seems to be going on in the city.
Hey, question. What's the last year you remember?
2011.
Oh, wow. It's not 2011 anymore.
No.
Hmm.
But you also haven't been asleep as long as I thought you have.
Yeah, but some stuff has changed in the city since then.
Yeah, it's 2020. Or, I mean, it will be. Christmas Eve.
Auspicious.
Yeah, I mean, 2020 is going to be a great year. I can't think of anything that might go wrong then.
I get that feeling too.
Yeah.
Naive.
Yeah, sure. We already said we were anarchs.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, who shoved you in the wall? Do you know?
Traitors.
Traitors to the sword.
Tell us all about it, please.
Yeah. What is the state of the city?
Well, the state of the city is pretty shitty, if you ask me. We got the sword ain't doing so hot right now. They're the kind of south of I-20, kind of keeping to themselves, and then we got the Cam and the rest of the Anox sharing the rest of the city. Yeah,
Still,
I feel you there.
you call yourselves anarchs, but you still lick at the boot.
No,
We
actually,
don't.
actually, since you've been asleep, things have somewhat shifted. The Sabbat is no longer at war with the Camarilla. We are.
They're friends now.
This
Yeah.
makes no sense.
I mean, I wouldn't say that the Sabbat and the Camarilla are friends exactly, but they're not in a state of open war anymore. But the Anarchs and the Camarilla are in a state of open war. It's just that here, it's very complicated, but basically our Baron is a Camarilla bootlicker who is, for all intents and purposes, using the Anarch movement to the whims of the Cam.
Yeah, so we're
So
looking
little
to
has
change that.
Yeah, I mean, really, yeah, except that, nationally and sort of internationally, the there is also the Beckoning, which probably you were asleep for, which is weird.
No, that I know of.
Okay, good. I don't know, time is weird for me.
You were of the sword.
I was.
He maneuvers one of his limbs and just sort of puts its like mandible claw over a patch of skin on sort of the lower half of it and moves a flap aside for a very brief moment. And it's very sort of, he clearly is directing this at you, Alex. And
Okay.
you see a black crescent.
Yeah, I figured.
Under a patch of skin. And when you see that, you instantly, your mind goes back to the last time you were with your sister.
Yeah.
When she grabbed your hand and you felt that burning, and you saw that impression of the Black Crescent, and something triggers. Like you think there was more to that than was apparent at the time, because you have memories flooding into your brain. James, do you know what I mean when I say the Lost Tribe?
Yeah.
That. The fact that the Black Hand is not simply the military arm of the Sabbat, that it's older than the Sabbat, that they're an army dedicated to Cain and the second generation, and utterly driven towards the purpose of destroying the antediluvians for the sin that they committed back in the Second City.
Okay. So when that starts to come in, I'm gonna sort of
and the last thing that sort of comes into your head is sort of a phrase that she is sort of giving to you. It says, "We are past the third watchtower."
Okay. So what I'm going to do is all of my sort of pretense at humor is going to drop when he shows me that crescent. And I'm going to sort of steeple my hands, and I'm going to say, I need you to understand that the reason I left the rebellion was not because my faith has wavered. It has not. I believe in all of my heart, and these guys can tell you, I talk about it nonstop, that the antediluvians are evil and that they must be destroyed. I don't think that the modern incarnation of the Sabbat is capable of doing it. I think that they've lost their way, and I no longer wanted to be a part of what was ultimately superpowered self-aggrandizement. I still fight for my great-great-grandsire Vicentasana's goal.
You are of her brood?
I am. I don't know what exactly this means, but I know that I'm supposed to tell you this. We are beyond the third watchtower.
He just kind of shakes at that. Someone has entrusted you with this.
My sister, who is also of my lineage, bears a similar mark.
I have little time. I must meet with her. You must bring me to her.
Sure. Give me 1 second. So I turn to my guys and I'm like, hey, you guys remember my sister, right? Is it cool if she drops by?
As long as no one sees her.
I don't even know that we'll see her. And I'm going to call out over the network for her.
Okay.
Over the cobweb. I ain't always going to call the network, but I'm going to call out over the
That works.
cobweb for her.
He says, good.
So, what's your name?
I don't. The one that I went into this wall no longer has meaning.
So, what do you want us to call you? Because if we just keep calling you the cockroach thing,
That is
I don't think you'd like that very
acceptable.
much.
That
Oh,
is
we can just
acceptable.
keep calling you that?
Calling you that. All right.
Yeah, sure. That's fine by me.
Shit.
He says, if what you say is true, if the Anarchs have finally thrown off the chains and the Sabbat is lost its way, this does not surprise me. The reason I was put into this wall is because I learned something. I learned something on Crusade.
Has it got anything to do with a large cult that spans all of the sects that is controlling people?
No.
Oh, so that's another horrible thing.
Yikes.
I'll add it to the list.
Inconsequential. No. The Sabbat is a lie. It was built on a lie. 2 lies. 2 lies that go back. My founder, the eldest, and the one in the shadow were never destroyed.
Alex, what does that mean?
Fucking excuse me.
I must speak with your sister.
She's on her way. So I'm going to turn back to my group, and Alex looks really shaken. And he's going to say a couple of things. I don't want to get into all the greats, but my far distant relative, Vicintasana, she eventually came, she was Sabbat, but she eventually came to the realization that what the world truly required was something that the Sabbat could not offer, which is why I still follow her teachings more than anything. He didn't immediately reach out and cut my head off when I said I was a descendant of Vicintasana, and that is interesting, especially since he followed it up with something that we already knew, which was that the Sabbat was founded on a lie. That is my antecedents teaching as well. But what he is specifically stating, have any of you ever met a Ravnos?
I mean,
I'm sorry.
met
Let me take that back. I'm sorry. I'm filtering a lot of information right now. Have any of you ever met a La Sombra?
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think if Cadence would have.
Fought? Yeah, a few.
Well, you know they use that shadow power. That shadow power is, at least in Sabbat teaching, I don't really know the physics of it, but at least in the teachings that I've been given, is not wholly of this world. It is from somewhere else, and that place is a place that we were never really meant to go, and they were given that power basically through the corrupted power of their antediluvian. And you know, now I think we're able to all talk about the fact that the antediluvians were real. Do I have to go through a third grade description of this, or are you on board with the fact that antediluvians are real?
Of mine.
Okay. Yours. Wait, what clan are you?
Hecata.
Yeah, but which side?
Giovanni.
Okay, so yours is not that old. So La Sombra was among the worst. Now, I don't have to go, I think, into, again, my feelings on the antediluvians. They are evil incarnate. They must be destroyed. They will destroy us all if they are not. Specifically, in my opinion, Malkav must be eradicated, and anything that smacks of him should be eradicated as well. However, La Sombra was supposedly killed. It was one of the very first huge sort of gelling victories of the Sabbat. It was when the sort of Cain knew that its raison d'etre was fulfillable. It could be done, and we frequently refer back to that moment as the rallying cry, the moment that the sword of Cain knew that its purpose could be fulfilled, that we had the power to do it. And he's saying that La Sombra is not fucking dead.
Yikes, big yikes.
Ain't that precious.
And extrapolating for a moment, if La Sombra were not dead, the only place that La Sombra could conceivably still be alive would be in that place where the shadows come from.
Okay.
And that is very, very, very bad, because I have heard horror stories beyond imagining. We have this fellow by the name of Gratiano who has been to that place. In fact, Gratiano supposedly killed him. So I turned back to...
Where's he at?
Yeah, I turned back to Bugman, and I'm like, so what's the deal with Gratiano? Is he lying, or does he think he killed him?
Ooh.
I know not. I know not what the elders of the sword believe or know, but they are wrong. Both that were meant to have fallen so many centuries ago still exist, still puppet their clans. Still,
So it's Lysandra and Ravnos are both still alive?
no, I believe Ravnos is the one that has truly fallen.
Okay, I'm
The
sorry, I'm
eldest.
confused. Oh,
Zemis, my clan founder.
My
Were they just hanging out?
condolences.
Like, figure
Oh.
someone would know,
It's
like notice maybe.
We were-
Tamis is a very powerful magician. It would be very, very bad if he was still alive.
He is.
Yes.
It is. They both are. It is why I found this out in the East. It was part of my cell's mission to determine the truth behind certain things. I returned to speak with the Seraph and a collection of cardinals, but there was an altercation, and I was waylaid.
Oh, okay, so the Cardinals did not put you in this box.
I don't know who they were. They were Sabat, but I cannot say. If your sister bears the mark,
She does.
and if she is not, there is much more I could say regarding that, but I would speak with her. I would join with her and tell her what I know. There is a chance. Perhaps. And like he says, you have split from the Camarilla. You are at least free from those chains again. Perhaps maybe the hand can move through you.
Question for the storyteller.
Mhm.
Love that.
So he was boxed in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
Was that when did the Cam and the Anarchs kick the Sabat south of the highway? What year was that?
The war was still ongoing at that point.
Okay.
So there was a lot
Alright.
of pushing back and forth during that point.
Okay. Alrighty. Cool. Thank you. So Cadence is gonna say, while we wait for Alex's sis to get here, can I ask you a couple questions about things I'm curious about since we got time to kill?
You may.
Okay. So back before you got shelved, it we're kind of trying to figure out how bad things are in the Anarch end of the world, and I was just wondering if I threw some names out there, if maybe you had heard of them, could tell me a little bit more about what they might have been doing at that time.
Perhaps. I was only in the city for a handful of nights.
Okay. All right. So first one, Chitran. Ring any bells?
No.
Damn it. What's the prince's name again? Is it?
Aledia Peterson.
She says that.
I know her by reputation.
Reputation only? Okay, what was that reputation?
Child of Jan Peterson. Lieutenant in the fight between the Sword and the Anarch Camarilla Coalition.
Okay. All right. Anyone else got anything?
What the name of the current bishop? I don't know what the name of the fucking Sabat
I have a
leadership
question.
is.
You may not know the answer, but you may. What exactly are the Inconu?
Cowards.
Mhm.
They sit outside the tide of battle. They will
They're just waiting to see who's going to win.
They are not a priority.
All right.
All right. Word to the wise there, Samsa. So, you try not to drink around here if you can avoid it. I know it's going to be tough, but the entire Atlanta area, we got a little bit of a blood plague going on. And anyone who drinks of the local blood will have their head explode sometime in June.
Yeah.
Troubling.
Yeah.
Alex, you feel sort of a wash of colors. Just sort of like, and you see it sort of trail upstairs.
Folks, my sister's here.
Okay.
I mean, go on. I don't want to interrupt your
One-
special Sabbat talk.
One last thing before she gets down here. One last title. Lord Blackheart. That mean anything to you?
Gonna make a roll for him.
He's know something. God.
Let me get my dice. Uh-oh. Methuselah, reportedly one of the ones nearby, sleeping.
Okay. All right. Well, this has been so enlightening. Let's get your sister down here so you guys can actually do something productive. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Alex, you head up, and there is sort of at the outside, there is kind of a party bus, like one of the ones covered in fur with a bunch of lights inside.
Yep.
Like it's just sort of hanging out. These sort of things show up all the time. At this particular rave location, but this one is just here when there's not an event scheduled, and it's just sort of idling.
I'm going to go onto the bus.
Yeah, you go, you open up the gate, and as you start to open up the gate, the bus starts to take off. You want to roll Sense the Unseen for me?
Oh, I do want to roll that. All right. 1, 2, 3. And that's what's that roll again? I'm sorry.
I believe it is Wits plus Aspects.
Wits plus suspects. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. So what does it mean when you've got a 0 on a hunger die and a 0 on another die?
That is a bestial crit.
Okay, so
Ooh,
1,
love
2,
it, love
3, 4, and a bestial crit.
Okay, fantastic. So, you absolutely do see your sister, just sort of slipping through the gate. And you are hit with a wave of sensation, a wave of memories come over you. You remember all the terrible times that you've shared with this woman, all the good times, the bad times, all the inexplicable things she's done over the course of the several years that you were with her. And you just sort of, you can't focus on her. Like, you just see her as a moving blob of colors.
Okay. Now, am I still on the bus?
No, you're not on the
And
bus, but
Okay.
basically, when you opened the gate to get out, the bus took off.
Okay, I gotcha.
And then you were able to see her as she slipped into the gate with you, like into the compound.
Gotcha. Okay.
But like just the blob of colors just sort of comes up close to you, and like a patch of purple just sort of wraps around your hand.
Okay, cool. I'll lead her as best as I can down to where everybody's at.
Okay. So yeah, the rest of you just see this sort of slightly addled Alex dragging. Roman, you haven't seen this woman before. She is a very small woman, like very diminutive. Like she might be somewhere between a small person and just a very short adult. You can't exactly tell, but she's very diminutive. She just kind of got like wild raver girl clothing on, very dirty. And she seems to be leading Alex down the staircase.
All right. I'm like, all right, check my watch. It's probably getting to be about that time.
Yeah, it's getting a little late. But she once she gets down there, she kind of looks around, looks to you. Are you guys like standing in the way? Are you gonna lead her to the place? What's up?
I'm probably still down there with the roach.
Okay. Well, I mean, like, what I'm asking is, are
Mhm.
you like trying to keep her from the roach in any way, or
No.
okay. So she shows up. They definitely seem to recognize each other. And she just like goes up to him and like puts her little hands on his like the sides of his skull, and they just sort of start staring into each other's eyes.
Well, that's not creepy at all.
They're
Okay.
vibing.
Well,
They definitely are vibing, yes.
yeah, so I'm probably just gonna leave you guys to this and go start winding down for daytime. Give me the Spock notes later.
Same. I got some preparing I need to do. By the way, Cadence, did you get that? Did you get that tainted meat?
Yes, you did.
Yep.
All right. If you could get that to my place ASAP, or if you have it on you now, I'll just take it now.
Yeah, you've got.
I gotta grab it from.
I think you brought it back to here.
Oh, I did bring it back to here. Cool.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So you can. It's in the fridge. You can grab it on your way out.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll be able to get something good out of this.
Yeah. So you grabbed that. Roman, you headed back to your haven, or are you gonna stay here for the night?
I am headed back to my haven.
Okay, gotcha. Willow, what are you? Cadence, you're gonna start winding down. What about Willow? What are you up to?
My curiosity is getting the best of me. I'm gonna stick around.
Okay.
I really want to hear this.
Okay. Yeah, Alex, you're kind of dazed for the remainder of the night. I mean, you can function, but you're still in kind of color world.
Okay, I'm still gonna try to listen to what is going on as best as I can.
Okay. Give me another wits aspects roll.
2 hits.
2 hits. You kind of pick up because they're clearly communicating psychically. And you can pick up strands of it. There's a lot of dense information that's being passed between them. They're thinking in code a lot. But you can tell that she's updating him about stuff that's happened, and he is sort of updating her with what he's learned. You definitely pick up the big like psychic spike when he transmits what he has discovered about the Lasombrans and Misi Antediluvians.
Okay.
And you can just sort of tell that there's a lot being discussed in this conversation, and they don't seem to be disengaging at any point before the sun is going to rise.
Should we just like leave them, or will they just like drop like when they're done?
I'm just gonna hang out and make sure. I'm just gonna wait until they're done.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, they do not. They in fact do not finish their conversation.
Put a blanket over them.
Yeah, and when sunrise comes. But yeah,
Like putting a blanket over a statue.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, you are able to get back into your havens, keep a watch of them, and then the sun rises over the city. Roman, you make it back to your haven, and then for a time you are all as corpses. Now, please, everyone, as the sun sets once again, please give me a rouse check.
Success.
Failed.
All right.
Fail.
Fill it too.
Okay.
Some hungy.
So we'll start the evening with Roman.
Alrighty.
So yeah, it's sunset, and you know that you should be getting. You were told to hit a place called Marietta Square, which is to the north of the city, and that someone would find you there. Was what you were told as far as getting to this meeting.
Yep.
Are you going to be doing anything before heading up to Marietta?
Just gonna make sure I look nice. I mean, it's not a thing that I have a ton of control over these days.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I make sure my shirt's ironed. I look presentable, respectable even by some standards. And I will head out and try to. I make sure I have everything I need on me and everything, but I go ahead.
Okay. So you head up. You get a car. Yeah, you head up. You get a car, and eventually you come to Marietta Square, which Marietta Square is an interesting part of the suburbs of Atlanta. There's a lot of older buildings here, but they're older buildings that have been constantly updated and renovated because it's a pretty kicking. It even has some pretty active nightlife. There's a theater called the Strand that was an old movie house that now it's a theater and sometimes a nightclub and sometimes all sorts of things. There's a bunch of really hip restaurants here. There's a big park in the middle of it that has a big bandstand.
Cool.
And it is super decked out for Christmas. Gaudy, commercial, as all heck.
Yeah.
But eventually you sort of find a place to stay on the sort of the inner square. And eventually a very nice Cadillac just sort of pulls up next to you, and the driver's window rolls down, and he says, "Mr. Semenov?"
That's me.
He's you hear the doors unlock.
I open it. I open up. Sit inside. I nod to the driver. How you doing?
He's like, "Very well, Mr. Semenov. It's not too far away."
All right.
And he starts to drive up a little bit north of the square. And he drives you to a church. A Catholic church that is it's definitely a rich person's Catholic church.
Mm-hmm.
Super nice, super. It's got all the trimmings of your church area, but very upscale, and there is a Christmas Eve Mass going on, and you are led by an usher to a section where people who look like they have Italian last names are sitting. One thing you certainly can tell as you walk into this church you know, every now and then you come across a church or a place of worship that just makes your skin crawl. You don't feel that at all.
Right.
Like there's everything about this place is as mundane as it can be for all of like the upscale religious trappings that are going on. So yeah, you are led to a section of pews, and a seat is sort of made for you while this mass is undergoing. How does Roman react to this?
Yeah, I kind of want to. I think the first thing I'm going to do is like, obviously, I'm going to, much as it might be a bit tacky to do so, I'm going to scan the crowd. I want to. Roman will play this game whenever he is led to a place that is expected to have a large mortal contingent with with some vampires interspersed, and it's just called Spot the Vampire.
Okay, all right.
And based not off of any sort of supernatural awareness, but just based off of how they're dressed, or what I've come to expect from what he perceives to be older vampires.
Okay. Give me. Let's go with.
Insight, maybe. Insight, maybe.
Yeah, give me a wits insight roll.
All right, that's 3 successes.
You scan the crowd, mostly mortals, as far as you can tell. Mortals just, going through the motions. But you see a couple of people, especially in this section that you've been led to, that are just sort of sitting very still, dead-eyed. Unblinking. Just clearly just sitting here. Whenever there's a call response, they do it automatically, without hesitation, but with no feeling or passion to it. It's like a rote response to it. Like some of the mortals here, obviously, are here in the Christmas spirit and in the religious spirit, but you clock a couple of people who are just utterly running through the motions.
Let me play on easy mode. All right. Well, I will wait until instructed. Until instructed to do otherwise. Yeah. And I will even sort of engage a little bit with some of the Catholic rite going on here.
The liturgy. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Catholic rite.
Yeah, Catholic rite. I mean, come on now. Where do you think they get it?
Get your workout.
Indeed. So yeah, mass goes through the various motions, the sermon, all the rites are observed, and eventually the congregation is let out. And there is definitely a crowd that you are a part of that all starts to sort of move to. They start to move, but they move out of a side door that's leading to more of a back parking lot.
Okay.
And all of those people that you clocked are heading out that way.
Yeah, I'll put a little money in the bowl and follow.
How much money do you put in the bowl?
Yeah, that's very important.
Probably like 50.
Okay.
You'll get no unhappy stares from grandmothers if you
absolutely.
do
that. But yeah, you get out there, and there are Cadillacs, Lexuses, Maseratis in this parking lot, and everyone just seems to know where to go, where they're heading. And one of the Cadillacs that has a couple of people get into it, they just sort of leave the door open.
Just like my first rant. All right. I sort of follow along. I will approach. I'll approach the one with the open door and say, "Apologies for my rudeness. Roman Semenov. I'm new to the area.
There's a young woman in the back of this car, and she says, he's like, "Oh yeah, cousin Semenov. We were told you'd be making it to mass. Come on in."
Sure. I'll get into the car.
Yeah, you get in the car. Driver pulls off. Maybe about 5 minutes later, very close to the church, you go down a couple of streets and pull into past this very large gate, a palatial estate. It's not it's not gaudy or extravagant, but it is very nice. It's very upscale.
Yeah.
And there are lots of cars just making their way one by one. They're getting checked by security. Each one, there's a quick stop while a security person does a scan of the car, like a mirror under the bottom of the car. They check the driver, check the ID, do a quick flash inside just to see who's in. And eventually you're just sort of led processionally into this mansion.
Okay.
And this is a very big place. It's got a couple of very large sort of big family areas. And as you're getting into this place, there are well over 100 people in this mansion.
Wow.
Like 60% of them are children and teenagers.
Oh, okay.
The rest are kind of adults. And it is like at first glance, as you're walking in, although you can recognize a couple of people, the vibe of this place is unsettlingly wholesome. This is a big, rich family Christmas get-together. Kids are playing. There's some light. Sinatra is playing over some sort of a sound system in the wall. The Christmas tree is there. It's decorated very elegantly. These Christmas decorations they're very nice and they're very festive, but they're a little subdued, muted. They're not in your face about it. There's no images of Santa anywhere.
Sure.
Or anything like that. Maybe there's a room for the little kids that has a couple of that kind of stuff, but it is unsettlingly wholesome. And you don't hear anyone talking anything resembling business.
Sure.
For all intents and purposes, you're in a big rich family Christmas Eve night.
Okay. Yeah. Seeing kids everywhere, it's definitely surprising. But I think Roman probably appreciates it to an extent, even though he knows what this really is, and that makes him very unsettled. He just doesn't see kids very often, and it's kind of a nice little reminder, along with all of the Christmas trees and the decorations and things like that.
Give me a wits investigation roll, please.
Sure. Wits investigation. One success.
You only catch it one or two times where you see people in twos and threes just sort of heading out of the main areas. And you don't really see where they go. If you try and follow them, you just see an empty corridor by the time you get there. But you can tell, you get the sensation people are filtering in and out of this main area.
I see. All right. Well, I will. I'll hang up my coat, put that away, and I will try to hunt down anybody who pings on my radar, so to speak, and see if I can't get the skinny on where people are going.
Okay. You get ambushed by a gaggle of young adolescent girls.
Oh.
Who are very interested. They don't know. Obviously you're a family member, but they want to know who your dad is. They want to know, where'd you go to school. That seems to be like as you start to try and track somebody down. Like something itches in the back of your head. Somebody sick these chicks on you. Like that.
See.
It's like, oh God.
So as not to fail the test, I'll basically, I'll say I'm distantly related. I will put on my father's best accent.
Okay.
And I will say distant relation from Europe.
Give me a charisma persuasion.
Okay. And persuasion. Okay. All right. That is 5 successes with a crit.
Oh, these kids love you.
Mm-hmm.
Like they absolutely love you. They start like taking you around, like, oh, this is cousin Semenov. He's from across the pond, and just like they start just taking you to meet like other children, other groups of young people. Like a couple, like some introduce you to their parents,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
you make a pretty good impression.
Yeah.
You're not sure who you're making a good impression
Yeah.
on, but you're making a good impression in this crowd.
I'm as cordial and polite as I can be.
Absolutely, you are.
Yep. It is.
So this goes on for 2 hours. It's getting
Exhausting.
Yeah, absolutely.
My condolences,
and
my friend.
Every now and then you track someone. Give me another wits investigation roll, please.
Sure. Okay, there we go. All right, so that is 6 successes with a crit.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, you bide your time. You watch. You wait.
Mm-hmm.
And you eventually see the patterns. You see where people are going when they leave. You sort of look for the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell it's not any one place. You just sort of identify like, okay, these 3 doors down this hallway are locked, and then like these 2 down this hallway are locked. And you just kind of you're basically mapping the areas that you have available to you.
Yeah.
And you just sort of you find a spot that you can wait, and eventually there's a pair of people who begin to leave the room, and you are positioned to just like intercept them.
I act as though I have committed some misdeed, and I'm sort of like, oh, sorry about that.
Oh no, cousin Semenov. It's a young-looking man and a slightly older-looking woman. The young man says, like, no, you're welcome here. Do you want to get a nightcap?
Yeah, I'd appreciate that.
It's getting a little
actually.
late. The kids will be going to bed soon.
Good. Yeah, I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Like,
I'm sorry. I didn't get your name.
The young man says, my name is Michelangelo, and this is my Aunt Misty.
Nice to meet you both. Roman Semenov, but you knew that.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get that drink.
Sure.
And they lead you up to one of those locked doors.
Mm-hmm.
And the Misty opens the door up, heads in. Michelangelo holds the door open for you and sort of motions you in.
I walk on in.
It's very poorly lit in here. From what you can tell, it looks like just sort of a sitting room. And there is a table set up, and the duffel bag that you had you put the duffel bag in the car that you got picked up in. It is sitting on the table. Its contents are sort of laid out. And there is a figure that you can't really make out very well sitting in front of it. And the door closes behind you. And Misty says, "Have a seat, cousin."
Wherever one is available.
She motions you to the table across from the figure that's just sort of sitting there.
Sure.
And the two of them just sort of step back, sort of a couple paces behind you. And when you sit down, you see this figure. And as you're sort of getting used to the light level, it is sitting there motionless. And the more and more you see of it, the more and more you can tell that you're sitting in front of a desiccated corpse.
All right. Merry Christmas, cousin.
There's a creaking as the arms move up, and it extends its palms to you.
I put both of my palms out as well.
It wraps its kind of stick and paper like flesh hands around your hands, and it pulls you so that the circle of your arms is around this collection of like power bars and like hydration packs and other stuff. And it says, and sort of this creaky, dry voice comes out and says, "You bring us such strange presents on the Lord's Mass, Cousin Semenov."
Yeah. Well, I brought you something that I think you might be interested to know about.
We shall see. Back at the Haven.
Shit! He's having a Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Back at the Haven. You guys wake up, as do your sister and the cockroach. They both wake up and they both sort of sit up. I'm assuming, where did everyone go for sunrise?
Probably back to the room that I have here at this haven.
Okay.
Same.
Alex, where did you go?
I probably stayed.
You probably stayed.
There,
Yeah. So you rouse, and your sister, like as they come into consciousness, they sort of stare into each other's eyes again, briefly, and then she sits up, and she comes over and sits next to you.
Okay.
And the cockroach brings out its mouth proboscis again.
Yay! That makes me feel great.
Oh yeah, no, it's a great sight. And he says, "We have discussed things. Your sister is well placed in what remains of the sword in this city. We believe that the time has come to rally what we can. Do you fight the Chimeria?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you oppose the Elders? And
With
the
all of my heart.
Methuselahs and the Antediluvians?
Yes.
Are there anarchs who would fight?
Well, they're the ones that have verniculum ratings to me. So, yeah.
You say your Baron is a lickspittle.
He is.
Loves
Can
the
that be
taste of food.
resolved? I am asking if the anarchs of the city can be whipped into something worthy.
Oh, yes. You mean the whole movement? Yeah. We have a plan.
He looks over to your sister and says, I will go with your sister. We have decided what can be salvaged of the sword.
Okay.
We will rally.
Excellent. Then we'll take care of the anarchs.
What of your companions?
Um,
Will they let us leave and tend to this?
absolutely.
Willow eventually
Yeah.
comes in and is like, I see that you guys are done vibing.
Yeah, they'll trust me. They don't always understand why I do what I do, but they back me 100%.
In what am I backing you in right now in particular?
Specifically right now, just letting them leave without any trouble.
Are you guys gonna go start shit?
He-
She smiles
He
a
kind
little.
of turns you and says, the Sabbat as a whole is a failed venture. It cannot persecute the war.
Okay.
We will rally those that can be saved. And if you anarchs are finally ready to truly fight the elders, then we will bring the fight with you.
Oh hell yeah! I knew waking you up was a good idea.
It was a great idea.
Everyone told me it was a bad idea and I shouldn't do it. But I'm glad
I didn't.
that
I
you
was
did.
right there with you. I thought it was a great idea.
Did you?
Yeah, sure.
It's okay.
think-
I don't remember.
I don't either. It's fine though. It worked out. You're a genius. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go have that chat with the E Street boys.
We do need to do that, don't we?
We do.
Let's get Cadence and let's talk to what is his name? Kenny G. I don't fucking remember. It's too early
Nikki
for
C.
this. Nikki C.
I think Kenny G's the alto sax guy.
So yeah,
Know who that
unless
is.
anything else happens, the Roach and your sister, she leads him. She like pulls out a little baggie and like puts a poncho around him.
Do you want like a jacket, Cockroach?
He's like, this will suffice.
Okay, I'm just saying. I have some of your clothes that I've been keeping you in for the past couple.
I had no clothes.
I just dressed you up. It felt weird for you to be naked, but you can go out in that little poncho. It's fine.
He just kind of like multi-lid blinks at you.
I'll see you around, man.
You want your beer hat?
It was good having you as a roommate. I hope we can kick some ass together.
You are very strange.
Oh wow! Ouch.
I mean, you are though.
Hurts even more coming from you specifically.
I feel like
we must go.
Yeah, you guys should go. Yeah, we got this.
So yeah, you guys head out. They head out. Malthus and Julia come down with you. Come down to the area. And they say, Cadence, do you head out of your little apartment area?
She's actually gonna stew in there for a few minutes.
Okay.
She was not happy with the lack of info that she was presented with last night, so she's just gonna take a minute to calm down and.
Okay. Malthus says to you and Alex, Willow and Alex, he says, I've been thinking about what we talked about what's going on in this fucking city.
Yeah.
And about the Baron specifically, and I think I have an idea.
Oh.
Ooh, let's hear it. Spill the tea, sis.
So we need to know, Alex, you made some noise about not really being all that down with just capping the motherfucker, right?
I don't mind killing him. I wanted to kill him, though, by the laws of the sect.
He's a traitor. He doesn't deserve it.
Unless we lose, in which case we're the traitors.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
but
true.
I mean,
Big gamble.
you guys have pretty good. You have some evidence. You got a case to make. But
We do.
If he is what we think he is, if we think he's just a fucking plant and a traitor, then we don't have to follow the laws of the sect. So here's my thought. Here's what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I possess a ritual that if I can get a little bit of his blood, I can find out where he comes from. I can find
Like,
out
what do you
who
mean?
I can find out who made him.
Oh,
I can find out,
we're
where
gonna call his
they-
dad.
I don't know about call his dad, but figure out who they are.
We do know that he's a Venturo.
How do you? Yeah, that's not entirely impossible, but
Oh, we have a small amount of
I'm just saying.
evidence from our friend.
No, look,
I can get his
look,
blood.
I'm a Tremere,
Are you gonna get it?
so not exactly common in the movement. So I'm not making claims here, but I'm just saying it's not really common.
What we
My
need to do
thought-
to get his blood is make him think that we need to be rebound.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking I could head down to that, your club, start, waving my dick around, saying, "Hey, I'm a big bad Tremere. I'm going to set up an anarch chantry. I don't give a fuck about who you are and what you say I can and can't do," and just basically provoke him into, giving me
Bloodboning you.
Yeah, giving me the smackdown, and I can let one of you ride my senses, and I'll do that ritual. We can figure out where he fucking comes from.
Sure. Ride your senses. Explain that. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
he says
slow.
it's an ability of the discipline of Auspex. We can enter into a psychic link, and one of us can see through the eyes of the other, and you will get the information. You will see what I see when I walk down his lineage.
That sounds great. Thank you, Matthews.
He's all like, "Look, guys, we're here to help." And Julia's been quiet. She's all like, "I think that's a good idea. I think if we can have at least one more nail in his coffin, then when we do what we have to do, what you said you wanted to do, then we will be able to avoid as much of talk of treason as we can."
Right on.
Sounds good.
He's like, "I'm not here forever. I'm willing to take care I'm willing to pull this off for you guys tonight. I understand you guys got some business that you want to take care of. But
Let's get this done. This feels very important, like paramount, I'd say.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
agreed.
Cool.
I'm gonna say this is when Cadence
Mhm.
enters the scene and she's like, "What's important?"
We're gonna go take some of the Baron's blood. Do you want to come? Put on your shoes.
You do have to wear shoes. It says right on it's a thing right when you walk in the door that says no shirt, no shoes, no blood bonds.
I got it. I'm not a total fucking animal, Alex. Ugh. Okay, so that sounds great and all. I'm going to assume you have a plan.
We see
Oh
you
yeah,
have a
for
plan.
sure.
Yeah.
What's the plan? Do we have a plan? We have a plan, right?
I mean, I'm just gonna go be a problem, and hopefully he'll pull this trick that he says he pulls on people. And then I'm gonna do a ritual when I get his blood in my mouth, and we can find out who his fucking sire is.
Sounds good.
Ooh, fancy.
And hey, that might be, like Julia said, another nail in the coffin.
All right.
And
Okay,
Julia's
cool.
gonna-
And I am always down for starting shit
and Julia,
wherever, so.
Julia speaks up and says, "We should. You were talking about your allies nearby.
Yeah.
We should
Yes.
definitely move on that as well. I think getting your support rallied. Perhaps you can have them meet us at the club."
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I
Sure.
can do that, I guess. Yeah. Sure.
Cool. All right.
Alex, are you emotionally ready to break a blood bond? Do you think you could do that again? Like, can you do it on command, or is it just like when it feels right?
I can do it on command, but it's costly.
That's good. What
Are
do
you
need?
prepared to?
Wait, so
I'm
I
gonna
get...
frenzy every time I do it.
Do I have absolute permission to
Like, don't.
Can I lay hands on you? I'm
Yeah,
just
of course, but I
saying.
don't break my skull open. You know,
Okay,
like.
okay, guys, one question.
Yeah.
So am I just going and getting some of the East Street boys to come meet us at the club, or am I getting the whole crew plus Nikki C?
Nikki.
Gotta get Nikki.
We need Nikki.
Julia
All
speaks
right,
up.
I'll
and,
see what I can do.
Julia speaks up and says, I think you should, if you do what you say you can do and break his blood bond, maybe doing it not in the same building with him, because that will probably start a fight.
You're right. We should bring my van. You could do it in the back of my van.
I mean, I have to be where he's at.
We can
I'm just saying,
ask
maybe
Nikki
you
C
should
to come into my
maybe
van.
you should just talk to some of his boys and get the ball rolling.
Okay.
If anyone wants to roll wits insight for me, please.
Well, yeah, I mean, because to do it, I'm gonna have to drink his blood, and unless he's willing to let me do that, yeah, it's gonna start a fight with his whole
Wine
crew.
would dine him a little. I'll be fine. charming.
That's 2 on wits insight.
Okay, is anybody else going to make that roll?
Yeah, I'll make it.
Not a great roll for me.
I actually got. Oh wow. I actually got 3.
Okay.
Nice.
Alex, when Julia's talking about, like, she's like clearly trying to talk you guys to be in a very specific scenario, you think she's got something that she's waiting to tell you guys, but she's not sure about when the right time to tell you is, or she's trying, not so much that she's not sure, that she doesn't think that now is the right time to tell you.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll get him alone then.
He says, "I just
Talk to us.
there are factors in play."
Okay.
He says,
So who am I getting where? Just tell me who I need to get where and when, and I will do this thing.
he's like,
Well, I probably need. I mean,
Julia says, "Do you think that some of your friends in the East Street Boys, do you think you can get them in on this plan before you enact it?"
I will certainly try my best. I know they're
So
extremely worried about the...
Because if it's just you, then that's one image. But if it's you and some of his gangmates working together,
Gonna peer pressure him. Okay.
do they know that he's bloodbound?
I have
They
been
have the
loath
feeling.
to tell them on the off chance that they mention it to him and then he mentions it to the Baron.
Oh, right.
that's
Yeah.
probably smart. But you should maybe get them on board before you do this, so that it's
Yeah,
not
no,
so
that
much
makes
one
sense.
gang doing something to another gang. It's a gang. It's more of an intervention than
Right.
an attack.
Right. So I will go try to talk some sense into folks. And if that doesn't work, I'll try to beat some sense into folks. And if that doesn't work, well then fuck me, I guess.
You jumped to beating so fast.
It's what I do best.
She's like,
Usually
all right,
what I
well, let's get that started, and I guess we'll go to the club then.
Get in my fucking car. We're gonna go
Okay.
get the Baron's blood.
But Roman is having a Christmas Eve family reunion.
Ooh.
So yeah, you were sitting at this table, and like your hands are sort of forming a circle with this corpse. And they say, "Why did you bring this to us?"
A gesture of good faith from a member of the family who has not been the best member of the family in the past. I want you to know that anybody in the Atlanta area who has consumed human blood
They
past.
grab your hands and say, "Hold. We will get to that."
All right.
We know you, Roman Semenov. We know your sire. We know that he left the family on bad terms. We know that you have followed him on his path that leads him away from the family. As little as a year ago, we would not be having this conversation. But
What I'd heard.
things have changed. What have you heard, little cousin?
Well, it is in the interest of things having changed that I am here at all. I've spent most of my time avoiding you guys, if I'm quite honest, on the advice of my sire for his crimes, and I guess by extension, eventually for mine.
Then I will tell you so that you will know. Last year, many who were out of the fold met with those of the family Giovanni. Most younger, some of the elder breed, who saw that in these troubling nights, when the mortals are at our streets, at our doors, when the tides of Canaanite blood run up and down the coasts, when factions and sects shift and fall, that which kept the family apart would destroy it. And so there was a reunion, and those of the old blood and the new, of the strange and the far-flung, who believed that the family should come together, cleaned house. You know Augustus? You know this name?
You?
He is no more.
Okay.
He and all those loyal to him over the good of the family have been purged.
Out of personal curiosity, did anybody get to him?
No.
All right.
He was utterly destroyed.
Good.
This brings more problems, but overall it improves our family situation. So, when I tell you that things have changed, when I tell you that you need not fear coming back to the family, know that our conviction in this is ironclad.
Good. I'm happy to hear it.
But I am told that you are reluctant, that you have sworn yourself to a cause.
I have.
And they turn their attention back to the things. You would not bring this to us if it were not of value.
That's right.
What value is it?
Using whatever measures that you might, I would like you to take a very close examination of that food. It is evidence that there is a blood sickness in Atlanta, one that will eventually result in the destruction of every Cainite, kindred, whatever you want to call us, by June of next year. Anyone who is fed on the blood of a mortal within Atlanta, within the past God knows how long, we are going to have a spiritual entity bury itself in our heads that will compel us to walk out into the sun. The food is proof.
Do you know who has unleashed this sickness upon us? Who has loosed this weapon?
The local Camarilla prince and probably the Anarch Baron is in on it too. Hell, the Sabbat, the head of whatever's left of the Sabbat's probably in on it too. It is a multi-sect confederation. A cult is the word that we've been throwing around for them. Cult is not a word I say with any disrespect.
Of course not.
We've all done a cult or two that we've been fond of, I'm sure.
Very well. He says, well, let us see. If this is true, if this... they pick up a, it's like Max Extreme Bar. If this is the malady and the weapon you claim it to be, then you will have brought us very valuable information. Information that may save us from this curse.
Well, I hope so.
But if this is a ruse, if this is a ploy, if this is an attempt to marshal us against your political enemies, then, well, we will find that out soon enough, won't we, Roman?
Sure you will.
Because we will find it out right now. And the two come out from behind you and sort of join you at the table and sort of interpose themselves in, they kind of they take your hands and form like a true circle of hand holding around it and say, are you skilled in the way of the shadow?
Can't say I am.
Well, then try and keep up.
Do my best.
And the corpse starts to lead this sort of dry, guttural chant as the spirits are invoked. So the three of y'all, so you guys start heading to the club. Cadence, you talk to Trayvon and some of the other boys. You basically, they say, they'll show up at Dead Channel to talk to you. Nikki's busy and doesn't want to head out. But if you say that there's something that you need to talk about, then they'll meet you there.
Sounds good.
So yeah, you guys show up. It is not. There are very few people in the club level. There's basically the hardcore alcoholics, this is basically their second home. Sitting at the bar, there's some very real shitty EDM Christmas music playing. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
man.
real sad up here.
This feels
Depressing.
Is this the true meaning of Christmas? One day I'll find
It is.
God.
Shitty
I'm not-
EDM music is, in fact, why Christ was born.
Oh, I don't.
He
remember
died
that
for
one.
all our sins, apparently. All of them.
Including danger mouses.
Not this
Mhm.
one. I get the feeling that that's. I think I'm probably missing something.
Yeah, there's
I
this
don't.
terrible mashup of All I Want for Christmas Is You and I Want to Kill Everybody in the World by Skrillex.
I
that
feel
starts playing.
personally insulted by this.
Oh yeah, no, it's
Oh.
basically hell. But yeah, so you guys are sort of there, soaking up the holly jolly ambience.
My body can't take much more. I'm gonna have to wait in the parking lot. I will actually catch fire in this fucking room.
Yeah, so Malthus just kind of like talks to you. He's like, all right, well, I'm gonna head on down.
Introduce yourself.
Yeah, he says, who wants to take the ride?
Do you want to, Alex?
Sure.
Do you want to take the ride here? Will it make him weird?
Make me?
Like, he kind of looks at you and says, like, I mean, he's used to having visions and shit, right?
Yeah.
He's
All
like,
right,
Can
never mind. Go on.
confirm.
He's like, well,
It's true.
you need to have a little taste of me before we can link up like that.
I need
You guys
to.
want to
Well,
go kiss
need
in
to
the
walk.
bathroom? Go on.
He's all like,
Please.
he's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, you
Oh.
two go on.
Oh, it's going to be one of those kind of parties, is it? All right. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, he just strolls into the bathroom, and there's no one in here, and he's like, yeah, in order to form the bond, and you gotta taste me a little bit.
Okay, sure.
He's all like, we don't have to make this a thing, man. We don't have to make this weird.
I mean, I like things being weird though.
All right, man, let's make it fucking weird. And, like,
Let's
he
make it fucking
Yeah,
weird.
he goes in and like starts like chewing out your face, basically.
Right on.
Yeah.
Anything's
and,
happening in there.
Yeah. Yeah, and you get a little bit of his blood in your mouth, and you taste that sort of like weird, sort of off-putting but strangely like exotic Tremere taste in it. And, it's just like,
Right on.
Tastes like subservience.
yeah, well, tastes like magic, man.
Tastes like Fruit Loops.
Fruit Loops, yeah. So yeah, and then he steps away. He goes up to the mirror, straightens up his little tie, and gets a paper towel, wipes off his mouth. He says like, "All right, man, let's see how this works." While Alex and Malthus are in the bathroom, Trayvon and a couple of the East Street boys head in. They show up at the club.
Hey, Cadence.
And they just they look around and like you see the looks that were probably on your faces when you walked into this club. Like you just see the terror of it just wash over them.
Cadence is gonna walk over into him and go, "Yeah, it's bad. I am so very sorry. You want to come sit down?"
Cadence, take them. If the conversation gets sensitive, take them outside.
Yeah,
Got it?
that's fine. I'm hoping that people are gonna want to listen to anything else other than what's on fucking music. Ugh.
It's cool,
They
man. Like we can head upstairs if you want to talk. Like he looks around like this place is fucking dead.
Yeah, sure.
I'm just saying, there's nosy people about. You know what I mean? I'm just here to vibe.
Yeah.
It's so hard to vibe.
Let's go find a place where at the very least this is muffled.
Yeah, you can find a place that's a bit quieter. A remix by Deadmau5 of "Baby It's Cold Outside" starts playing.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep coming up with these.
It's 2019. Dubstep is dead, guys. Come on.
It's fucking,
Get to rest.
we're kindred. We're at least 10 years behind the fashion trend. But anyway, so yeah,
Talk
yeah,
real close to each other.
yeah.
Okay.
Alex comes out of the bathroom. Malthus comes out of the bathroom as well. Cadence, you head up with Trayvon and the boys. What's Willow up to? Is she staying down here? What's the
Yeah,
plan
she's
here?
gonna stay down here as like a hub,
Okay.
so people can eventually come back to
Yeah.
her. She's just gonna be on her phone, like, I wonder what other people are doing for Christmas. What are my exes doing for Christmas?
That's a good question.
Yikes. Well, Benny's probably at mass, or was earlier
Yeah.
today. Son of a bitch.
Yeah. So, you basically you can like find a booth with Alex, since apparently he's gonna be seeing some shit.
Oh, this is cool, man. It's yeah. I can see. He shouldn't be doing that. He's just doing that to mess with me. Ugh.
Yeah, you can kind of see like it's kind of like a faded out double vision. Of him like going to the elevator, like the secret elevator, talking with the guard that's posted there, like getting in. He's going down the elevator. Up at the upper floor, Trayvon is talking with you, Cadence. So what do you want to talk about?
Okay, so we've had a couple conversations about the weirdness that's going on with Nikki.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot better recently.
Okay,
He's evened out.
that's good to know.
I don't know what the fuck Salvador said to him, but he was real ripped up about that for a while.
No worries. It's just we think we actually know what caused it.
Cool. What is it, man? What's wrong?
What a meet up.
You know what? I'm just gonna rip the fucking band-aid off. We think he's bloodbound.
The fuck?
Yeah.
How do you know? How do you think you know this? Who the fuck do you think he's got it? Like what? Come on.
Okay, so we highly suspect this because the person who did so also tried it on Alex. It didn't work because Alex is,
All right, I'll believe whatever.
Yeah. So, we think, and this is going to sound mad crazy, so please just, if they're not sitting, she's gonna point to some chairs and be like, sit down.
Yeah, they said he sits down. He talks to the other couple of guys who are like kind of weird about it. He's like, go get somebody. They're like, there's just fucking drunks here, man. Like, I don't care. Go get somebody.
And she's going to say, and also don't flip the fuck out. That's not a knock against that's not a knock against the Bruja thing. That's just don't flip the fuck out. And she's going to pull out her phone and she's going to pull up a note and type Baron T and slide it into the middle of the table.
His eyes go incredibly narrow. And he just says, that's fucking serious.
Yeah, which is why it's one of those things that's so fucking serious that I think it would be a pretty dickish move for me to joke about it.
You're right. And you've been nothing but straight with us for as long as you've been here. So that's why I don't know what I'd do if I thought you were fucking with me.
Yeah.
But that's fucking serious.
Yeah. But it's also damn near impossible to, I guess, muster any repercussions for, because we suspect it's more than just Nikki.
You realize what you're saying.
Yeah.
How the fuck do we even begin to deal with that?
Well, we got a plan. An idea, I guess. Details to be hammered out with input from you guys, obviously. But Alex has this fun little Malkavian trick that he learned where he can snap those bonds.
No shit.
Yeah. It's not easy, can't do it often, but regardless of what state he's in now, Nicky's got a lot of respect in the movement. He's done good things. And, regardless of how his loyalties are made, he's a stand-up dude. And if we can free him, that might give us the oomph we need to get other folks on board for exposing this.
I mean, that'll be that. You're right. You're right. That's if this is what you say it is, then I want him to be free, and that'll start off a fucking firestorm.
And if we're wrong, well, then we'll find out because it won't work. So I would be happy
She's
to.
like, fuck, man. Well, what do we want to?
Like, meet up.
What's he got to do?
Alex has got to get a little swig of your boy's blood. Not a lot.
That's not a fucking easy thing to do.
No, it's not.
Getting a Brujas blood.
And
Shit.
even under the best of circumstances, not something any one of us is just going to agree to off the bat. That's why I said we have an idea, but we need.
What the fuck? Like, that's a real hard ask.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I have
considered
a lot of things since coming here. I have found are really hard asks. When nothing about this city's fucking easy. So,
like, what? Some kind of fucking intervention? Like, we go and we fucking.
well, you know him best. What's the best way to get him someplace?
I mean, I can get him We shouldn't do it here. We shouldn't do it
Obviously
fucking here.
not.
I mean, I can get him to the fucking bar, and we can look, man. I know Nicky. He's not gonna cotton to that. We're gonna have to force the issue. If that's what we got to do, we're gonna have to force the issue.
Right. So we got to come up with a plan for making sure that we can do that efficiently and quickly, because it's going to also, side effect is that Alex is going to get a little rowdy afterwards, so that's going to be something we need to account for.
Not to throw shade on your boy, but I never got the impression that he was too hard to handle.
No, but when you've got one guy frenzying and another guy frenzying, that's still attention that needs to be split.
I get you. So, I mean, look, I don't think anything fancy is gonna any kind of convoluted thing. Nicky's got a real good head on his shoulders. He will sniff out a fucking plan. I mean, if it were me making this plan, I say we get us all together and we jump his ass.
I will defer to your judgment on this. You know him better than I do.
That's the only thing I can think of that'll work. But if it goes wrong, then
he's gonna kill someone.
That's a fuck barrel.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what we can whip up in terms of precautions.
The Bruja beatdown squad. Holy shit.
Just get some steaks, guys.
So,
I mean, anyway, we could get a mortal dosed up with Valium to him. That'll make things easy.
Hold on.
That's not a bad idea. Like, Nicky is a man of, he doesn't indulge that often, but he does indulge.
Oh. All right.
Yeah, no, that might work.
Yeah, no, get him. I mean, into a state where he's
like,
not
"Ah, God,
exactly.
Damn it, I'm gonna have to call Christy. Fuck, she's so bad for him.
Oh no.
Does Nikki have romantic drama?
Spill the tea.
All right, the bro code prevents me.
That's fair, but the idea is in my head now, and thank you for doing that because it just made this entire location that much more hospitable on Christmas.
So downstairs, there's a remix of Jingle Bell Rock mixed with Christopher Miles. So it's this kind of like really bad trance rock thing going on. It's the worst. But anyway, Alex, you are riding the senses of Malthus as he goes down, and Malthus is apparently real good at just talking shit. Because he has gotten a meeting with the Baron. He's in his office, and he is just like, he's just giving him the business. He's telling him what how things are gonna go down in his city. He's all like, yeah, I'm gonna bring in a bunch of fucking Tremere from up north. We're gonna build a chantry here. When I'm a fucking anarch, so what are you gonna fucking do about it?
Hell yeah.
He's just not giving any respect whatsoever to the Baron, and you can like just see like the little clock ticking in the Baron's head as he just sort of placidly sits and takes this. And then you see hold on, I need to do some masturbation rolls just to see how this goes.
Oh, that's so funny. I'm sure it was real tough for this Tremere, this Anarch Tremere, to go from being a normal Tremere to an Anarch Tremere with that much fucking lip.
Oh, this guy's got a story. This guy's based on a PC that I never got to play.
Every Tremere has so much pent-up lip inside of them.
Oh, yeah.
So much. It's just
It's
full of bursting.
begging to come out.
Indeed. Yeah,
Every
he
time
just
I
let
look
it
at
all
you,
out.
I think of my regent.
But then you like his senses go fuzzy, and you lose track of the room for a little bit. But then you see this wash of arcane symbols come across his vision, and then you're in another place. You're seeing through his eyes. You are in a bathtub. And your mind is dwelling on all the people, all of the comrades that you earlier this evening betrayed. Your fellows in the revolutionary movement in Vietnam, how you gave all of their names and their locations and like the drop sites, you gave them up for this chance, this opportunity that's been dangled above you. And you're in this luxurious thing that costs more than your entire neighborhood. And this woman has been pampering you. You've been shaved and bathed, and just utterly pampered and taken care of, cleaned of the dirt that really just gets under your fingernails, and then you see the woman like finish up her shaving of your neck. She's artfully shaved your goatee. And there's just the barest little nick of blood. You feel like the tiny bite of steel. And then she comes around, and you see her, and she's tall, willowy, pale skin, and she's wearing like this little lace mask that conceals her features. And she says in clipped Vietnamese, she says, "Well, Chi, are you ready for your reward?" And he says, "Yes, I am." And then she takes off the mask, and you recognize Eladia Petersoon.
Ah!
Jumps on him and latches her fangs into his neck. And then you shock out of the
tracks.
you're shocked out of the vision, and like you see like you're in the elevator, like he's in the elevator coming up. Up in Marietta, there is essentially a necromantic seance going on. The room has gotten much, much colder as ritual implements are being passed over and around the materials. Things have been sort of ground up and mixed with incense, like these power bars and the hydration packs have all sort of been mixed and whatnot. And you feel, with your Oblivion sight, you feel the world of the dead get closer and closer and closer until it is just gossamer thin.
Mm.
And like you can hear the howling of the dead winds that you hear in your darkest moments. And you begin to see figures coming into the room. And they are sort of passed item after item after item. It's passed amongst themselves. And some of them leave, some of them come back, and just this cavalcade of servitor spirits of the dead, stranger beings, are participating in this sort of investigatory ritual. And eventually, one of them steps over and comes physically into the room. And it is it's a presence that you're not entirely familiar with. Like there's certainly something powerful, a power that you're not personally familiar with, radiating from it. And it looks to Misty and Michelangelo and the corpse you've been talking to, and it says, "You bring darkness. You bring corruption. We have had to go far to find its nature. We have had to go to the edges of where we dwell, into places whose names you should never speak or even know." And it turns its gaze to you, Roman. And it says, "Who toys with these forces, young one? Who brings
Name.
such defilement?"
Her name is Peterson. She's dead, like us.
You don't know what dead is.
I meant the...
She is a leech. She is a corpse that walks and feeds on the blood. Yes? Like you?
That's correct. Like me.
It reaches into the bag and pulls out this indistinct thing, but as it sort of comes out, it resolves itself. It forms itself into this sort of twitching, chitinous, oozing blob thing. And it holds it up before it and says, "This is the sickness. It is dire. It will kill your kind." And it looks to the others. "And then we will be free of you." And it drops it back in. "But I suppose there's little we can do to stop you from stopping that." "Am I released?" And the corpses return, honored ancestor. And then that presence fades, and the room quickly returns to room temperature. And they say, "It seems like you were not lying."
We're right.
"Then the Camarilla tends to kill us all."
So,
"And you would move against this, obviously?"
I don't want to die.
"Who does?"
You know, again.
Again, yes, of course. "We have much to discuss amongst us, little cousin. But you have brought us something valuable. Something vital to our survival, it seems. So, know that the family is here for you. We will welcome you. We will bring you into our loving embrace. But we will not begrudge you your time out in the wild."
Good. I think we can all benefit from that.
"This demands a response. Do you think your rabble will muster anything of value, or are we going to have to take care of this ourselves?"
It's hard to say. I haven't been here terribly long. I'm working with a small group. We're all doing everything in our power to put a stop to this. And I think things are going to start speeding up here pretty quick in terms of large-scale methods of resolving this conflict.
If it is worth our time to work with you to deal with this, then we will. But we'll have to see you'll have to show us that. Otherwise, we'll do what we have to do.
Understood.
He says, "You should get back to the party. I think they're going to start playing charades."
They're going to pull out the dominoes any moment.
And you are led back by Misty and Michelangelo back to the party. And most of the kids are gone by now. Some of the older kids are still there, staying up a little bit past their bedtime. Because it's a special occasion. It's Christmas. Maybe a few little glasses of wine and a little hands. And Christmas Eve, family. It's nice. Just the adults chatting around and whatnot. So what does Roman do now?
A lot of this decor and stuff obviously has Roman thinking about Christmases that he missed out on due to being dead.
Oh yeah.
And
Well, apparently not, because they do them up good.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, did them up better than I ever could, and so my thoughts wander to my mortal grandchildren, and I sort of wondering if they're doing okay.
Give them some cards.
Haven't heard from the kiddo since I tried to warn him. But yeah, I'm thinking about it, and I look over and I see some of the kids starting to make a ruckus
Mm-hmm.
over a nearly collapsing Jenga tower.
Yep.
And as the Jenga tower collapses, Roman's sort of like, "Oh yeah, should probably get back to work here pretty soon."
Yeah.
good.
I mean, you can talk to somebody. They'll call you a car.
Yeah,
Get you back to the city.
I will. I'll wait until at least like midnight or so.
Okay.
I'm gonna go around and make sure that I'm properly introduced to as many of
Yeah.
the undead who reside here as I can. Trying to get a good list of names and faces, just so that I know these people as more than just them.
Give me another wits insight.
Sure. Ooh, wow.
Was it good?
No.
Oh no.
But so I do have I have a 1 on one of my blood dice, but I do have a single success. Does
And
that?
that's fine.
Then that's fine. As long as you have a single success,
Yeah,
then
it was
you
close.
don't have a bestial failure.
Yeah, I had 3 ones.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
You definitely read that the rules are you don't fucking talk business in the family
Sure.
room.
You bet.
Like, you don't, like, those that are in the know and they can play the game, but there are clearly members of the family who are not in the know and are not to be informed
Yep.
about what this family's fucking real business is.
Of course.
Mhm.
And Christmas is a time for all the family to come together. So you know enough to know that that's the rules.
Mhm.
And that everyone here is playing this game better than you are ready to play at this level. So you definitely introduce yourself to a bunch of people. You get some names phone, but you're not certain who's who amongst the crowd.
Yeah. I'm just sort of like, the family tree will come later. Right now, I just want faces. I just want something in my head to be able to refer upon.
You definitely do get faces and some names, or at least names that you're given.
Yeah. And I hang out with I hang out with as many people as possible, or as is appropriate. Telling stories about what I do over in Europe. And just kind of having a little fun making up stories.
Yeah. And it's one of those families where if someone thinks you're bullshitting, then you probably have a reason to bullshit. But no one's gonna make a beef at it on fucking Christmas.
Yeah.
So if you think anyone catches wind of you spinning a tale, no one makes a thing about it. And you have a nice couple of hour or so just enjoying the atmosphere as best as you can.
We're somewhere having a nice Christmas, and we're listening to this fucking soul-deadening music.
Yeah. As we come back to the club, you are greeted with the Lords of Acid remix of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
I'm so angry. I'm so angry at you.
God, what are you doing?
So Cadence at this point is going to stand up from the table, and she's like, "I'm bribing the fucking DJ. I just need a one song break."
I hand you a thumb drive. Scott, it's very important that what is on that is a remix that I did of Alvin and the Chipmunks Christmas.
Okay.
Son of a bitch.
She doesn't know that though.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you give it to the DJ, and he's like, okay, cool, yeah, no, I'll play something. Oh, you got something here? Yeah, no, I'll change it up.
Okay, and
Thank you.
if that one sucks because I don't know what it is, just
I'm gonna wink at the
think
DJ.
it's not fucking electronic.
I'm gonna wink at I'm gonna pull like my hood aside so the DJ can see my face, and I'm gonna wink at him.
He like gives you like the big wink back, and like he kind of gives you a little smile. So the next thing that comes on the stereo is, it's not EDM. It is Fairy Tale of New York by the Pogues,
Oh, nice.
followed by Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yes.
Christmas.
And when my remix comes on, I'm
Yeah.
gonna look at Candace and be like, "It's a big thing. All EDM artists do this. This is normal. We do
I
this."
hate you.
I know. I know.
Anyway, so you come up. Malthus comes out of the elevator. Trayvon basically says, "All right, I'm gonna go and set that up."
Okay, you just let me know the time and place you want it to go down, and it's going down.
We'll see. I don't know if we can do this.
It doesn't
I-
have to be
part of me-
tonight.
Part of me hopes you're really fucking wrong about this, but if you're right, shit.
Yeah, and I think it goes without saying that this stays.
Yeah. No, we'll see how it all shakes out.
Okay.
So yeah, you guys come down and make it down to the floor of the club. You're fucking with each other. It's great. So what happens now? Malthus comes up and joins you, and just kind of has like a kind of little
Well,
glassy.
did you recognize her?
What are you talking about?
Let's bounce first. I'm ready
Yeah,
to
let's
fucking
bounce.
go.
We
Because
should
I
go.
can't take this anymore.
Yeah, sure. As you leave the club, the last song that plays, I have to think of something horrible.
Oh my god, please.
The last song that plays is the Kraftwerk remix.
Oh my god, I hate you already.
It's the Kraftwerk remix of I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus.
See, I told you, we all do this. It's since the 70s.
Okay, all right, but I get to pick the song on the way fucking home.
Okay, sure.
And you can have both,
Also,
baby.
Malthus, how'd it go down there? What'd you think?
Let's wait till we get in the car. Oh my god.
Yeah, he gets in the car. He's all like, "Yeah, man, he I don't know. He just seems like a reasonable guy. You know, I started into my spiel, but we actually just kind of vibe for a bit."
So when he says that, I'm gonna like lean over and start to caress his arm in the same way that we did in the bathroom, and I'm gonna take a chunk out of him. I'm gonna point out to Cadence like, "Get ready," and I'm gonna break his blood bond.
Okay.
Boys,
Wait,
in the back
if you
seat
do
of
that
my
now, can you
car-
not do it on Nikki
all
later?
right. As a storyteller, I will remind you that ability is once per story.
Oh shit! I thought it was once per game. Okay, I won't do it then.
No.
I'll just instead I'll say, "Oh yeah, he's great. I'm sure that you like him a lot." Anyway, did you recognize who she was in your weird vision?
You know, I saw something, but just the conversation was so good. It
was. It was
He
good.
kind of like puts his hands to his temple. He's all like, "Fuck."
He did you good, huh?
Yeah, he did that
Damn.
thing to you.
So suave. Shit. Cool.
Like,
So
no,
here's a
I didn't recognize. I don't really remember what I saw. I know I got the ritual off, but that's why we were fucking sharing senses.
Don't worry.
Did you?
Yeah. So funny story. Well, he's Ventru.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought you
So?
guys knew that.
Yeah. We did. He's Peter Zune's kid.
What?
Not Jan though.
Oh my god, who's? Wait, which one? There's a lot of them.
You said
They're all
Lydia,
white.
right?
Eladia, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which one?
Eladia.
oh, get a load of that nepotism. You're just like, oh, I'll just give you all of these anarchs, son. Fuck.
Yeah, so he's in the direct lineage of the founder of the Camarilla, so things are starting to become somewhat clear.
Yeah.
Fun. So I mean, like, this is like a ticket, right? We
This is
can
good.
like fucking murk him, and it's like
This
cool.
is good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, so what's worse? If we let Anox know that he's a fucking Cammy kid, or if we let the Cam know that the prince's kid is fucking in with the Anox?
As some people
Julia-
might say, "Por qué no los dos?"
Julius is. I don't think that will be as big of a shock to them as you think it is.
no, I think the
I
Camarilla
don't think
already
Cam's
knows.
gonna give a shit.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna give a shit. They're gonna give Peterson a huge reward for it. Look, she embraced somebody, and that person became the Anarch Baron, and she controls all the Anarchs. She's gonna get,
Hilarious.
yeah. They're gonna clink their champagne glasses together. And
So-
laugh at
Fair
it.
enough.
So-
I was thinking more of the embarrassment of having a kid. Yeah.
I can tell you that if we go in front of all of the E Street boys and tell them and tell Nikki C to his face that that Tran is Peterson's kid, and he doesn't react in the right way, it's going to be hugely more believable that he's bloodbound.
Yeah.
Fair.
Well, speaking of that, we got a plan.
Okay.
Okay, so we talked it out. I let him know about our concerns and who is behind those concerns, and they're going to try to arrange a time when we can get the jump on him, because he's not going to give us anything willingly.
Oh boy.
There will likely be some
An
easing of the
altercation?
situation with some recreational substance abuse beforehand, so hopefully he won't give us too much trouble.
I don't know that I would call that abuse. It's that's within the bounds
Well-
of just standard use, I would think. But yeah,
I guess it would depend on whether or not he knows that he's ingesting it.
oh, that's
It's
abuse.
not,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
definitely
So,
not.
but anyway, I suggested Valium. I don't know what it's going to be, but
Maybe Alex has something better.
Oh, I've got lots of different things, sure, but
yeah.
want him
So
nice and
they'll
thoughtful.
let me know when they've got something
okay.
we can respond to.
So yeah, you guys head back to the communal haven after this.
I would
Is
think
that the
so.
plan? Yeah, and probably Roman. If that's where you're
Yeah.
gonna head back, you'd probably get there around the same time.
Yeah, I'd have shot a text at some point to the three of them. Merry Christmas. How's things going? And then whatever I get caught up with, and then I'll head back.
Yeah, so we can say like this conversation has been that's been part
I'm
of it.
up to date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so as I walk into the door, I open it very slowly, look around outside, close it quietly behind me, and I go, "Hot damn! All
Hot
right,
All right. Hot damn. Yeah.
we've
What are we doing?
got something."
Whoa!
What do we have?
Ugh.
All right,
Uh,
so my meeting went great. I mean, great-ish. They're going to talk about it, but they see positive reception overall. They're definitely interested in bringing that tower down.
Okay.
He thinks of Jenga again, so they're down for that based off of the little evidence that that we provided. And they're gonna hash it out, and I'm going to keep in touch.
All right, cool. How did they confirm that the food was tainted?
Oh, it was fucked. It was I think it has something to do with sometimes I see ghosts.
Okay.
They've got a better grasp on it than I do. I've got the bare basics. I wish I could turn it off. Believe me.
Okay.
Ghosts are
Because I'm
fucked.
just curious, because detecting it is the first step to figuring out how to get it out. Like, we know it's in us, but we're not aware of it.
Yeah.
So,
I think that they're going to do some research. They were able to extract it from the food, and so hopefully they'll find a way to extract it from the rest of us.
put that in their ears
Mm-hmm.
on the off chance they haven't thought of it themselves.
Oh, I'm sure they're on it. Well, all I had to do was mention that if anybody's fed in Atlanta over the past God knows how long, they probably infected, and so they're on it to some extent. And the spirit that they called in to confirm it seemed pretty confident that they would be able to do something about it. So they probably know things that I don't.
Awesome. Oh, that is great.
Yeah.
Julia.
Progress. I was actually kind of like pissed last night because I didn't get anything that I wanted out of Papa Roach over there, and now we have like steps forward. This is good.
Julia speaks up
Finally.
and she says, "It's very good that things are coming together. I have something I need to tell you all."
Is this bad news because of its bad news?
It's news, and
Oh.
it's something we will all have to deal with. It could be
That's-
it could be good or bad depending on your perspective and how you choose to react to it. But I came here, as Willow knows, at the behest of Salvador Garcia, to help figure out what was going on, to be an ear, to help get you guys going in the right direction. But he also told me that if things seemed like they needed serious momentum, he gave me a card to play. And I don't want to denigrate the progress that you're clearly making, but I have played that card.
What is it?
Within a few nights, I believe, I have called Smiling Jack to come to this city. And I believe that with what you have discovered and learned, hopefully you will be able to convince him to follow your lead. But we all know what happens when that man comes to town.
Yeah.
We're about to have a lot of catif.
Things
Uncle
get
Jack is
broken.
coming to town.
Uncle Jack.
Uncle Jack.
Well, this is gonna get fun.
Yeah, no, it's gonna get bad. It's gonna be a lot
Things
of
are gonna
fires.
get very complicated.
Yeah.
I have one question.
Yes.
You've seen how we work. We're kind of like we don't have a cohesive workflow, to put it mildly.
That's not necessarily true.
And this is not a knock at you. Just what did Salvador has seen us? He knows how we function.
I mean, maybe that's why he's
What
sending
makes
Jack.
anyone think more chaos is like conducive to this? Oh my god!
Well, you can get a lot
I'm not
done.
mad. It's just hilarious.
You can get a lot done under the shadow of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Let me explain my reasoning.
Okay.
You need to do some very big things.
Yeah.
You need to decapitate, from what we've learned, a puppet baron who has influenced the city in terrible ways that are affront to freedoms. If you do so, if you are able to convince good old Jack to act with you in dealing with this problem, then you will have a great deal of legitimacy behind you. This
Right,
comes
yeah, that
at,
logic
this
tracks.
comes at the cost of Uncle
Sanity.
Jack doing what Uncle Jack will do.
Oh, it really is.
But we don't have time to fuck around. We don't have time for the anarchs of the city to question what needs to be done or what happens based on the decisions of those who are in the know and who have the information that they need. So I will do what I can. I have called in the favor. He will be coming here soon. And I will do what I can to help you convince him to act with you as opposed to wholly of his own reconnaissance.
Beloved, thank you.
I'm very excited.
I actually kind of am too.
This is
Let's
the
be
best
real.
Hanukkah present. anyone
Well, I
could
mean, I'm
give
very
me.
excited because for the first time in any of our travels together, I won't be the least predictable member of the group.
You know,
That does sound
Yeah.
exciting.
that's true.
Yeah, I
guess.
believe that this is all in all going to be a good thing in terms of getting us the results we want. The time for debate and the time for subtlety has unfortunately passed. We are on a really strict timetable here.
Well, I'm glad that the time for subtlety has passed because Jack is not subtle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so,
We're about to gank a fucking baron. That's not subtle at all.
and if we can do that in the
just
shadow
a-
of whatever chaos he's creating, then all the better.
Not just the Baron, but the Prince's child.
Oh, that part I'm actually looking forward to a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
Baron aspect personally.
Well, Julius, you need to get your presentation ready. You need to have your allies at your side and be ready to ride the storm that is coming to the city.
I'm pretty ready.
I'm ready.
Why do I feel like we need one of Madison's fucking PowerPoint flowcharts?
I could try to put together a PowerPoint if you'd like. I can't promise that it won't be terrible.
Madison did love
That
PowerPoints.
I've got a bunch of poster board and some crayons, so I can do my
Okay,
best.
yeah. But first things first, can we just decide right now who's gonna try to sell it? Because I don't want to be that person.
To Jack?
I'll talk to Jack. I don't care.
Yeah,
talk to
well,
him.
to everyone, because we're gonna need to make a fucking case to the rest of the goddamn Anox at some point. We
I
gotta
think
pick
Nikki
a face.
C is going to do that.
Nikki, yeah, Nikki can handle that
Mm.
probably better than we can. I don't know how close you guys are with any of the other Anarch groups around here.
We're cordial with the Post-Life Women's Collective, but not like super close.
Yeah. Well, I think we can deal with we can guide Jack into the city, and then he's going to do what he's going to do. We're not really going to be able to put a leash on that. But we can let Nikki deal with some of the other stuff because he's a little more entrenched than any of us.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Speaking of Nikki, when do we want to do that?
Yeah.
Oh, so on that front, the East Street Boys are gonna arrange a situation where we can get Alex to jump him, do a little drinky drink, and break the blood bond. They'll let us know when that's gonna and where that's gonna happen. Hopefully, get Nikki on something first so that he's not gonna be at full fight back capacity.
Is that something that we are to procure, or are they handling that?
They're handling that.
Okay.
They're handling
Cadence,
that.
you get a text that basically tells you you basically get an address and a time for the, it says pre-party at so and so's house. He's moved. Here's the new address. And it's for early tomorrow night.
Oh,
It's from
What does it
Trayvon.
say?
Sorry.
All right, cool. She's like, oh, well, that was fast. So
when?
she shows it to everyone else. I guess we got a location.
Oh my
Alright.
gosh, I'm so excited.
I'm very excited.
Mm-hmm.
I might die.
No, it'll
I,
be fine.
I will
I'll pull
not
you
let
off.
anyone like actually kill you.
You said kill a bunch of times, and that
Well,
made me
yeah,
very
because
nervous.
we're already dead. That I was making a point like we would be. Never mind.
Okay.
Don't worry. I'll make sure to hold you back using whatever I have at hand.
That does not instill as much confidence as you think.
So you guys have a
No,
couple
I'm-
hours before dawn. Is there anything anyone wants to take care of before day comes?
I think I'm good.
Few hours, I might go feed just to be safe.
Okay.
I think that'll be a good idea.
So, yeah, Roman. So do you make a few calls and get someone to show up at your apartment?
yeah, I think so. I'm going to hit them with the old reverse Twilight, where
You're gonna have to walk that out for me because I
no problem.
I
I've gotta
avoided
know.
that. I avoided all of that as best as I could. So I'm really gonna need you to go into detail
Okay.
about what the reverse Twilight is.
So the reverse the reverse Twilight is where I gaslight a human being into believing that they are special and that they're the only person whose mind I can't read, and I basically will work on them through that angle to make them feel very special, to make them feel very like, oh my god, I've got this vampire's attention, it's very cool. And then I'll feed.
Okay.
Oh, good old reverse
That's-
Twilight.
My God.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's genius.
You're a monster.
Yeah.
So bad. So yeah, you. So what's Roman in the mood for tonight? Who has he been stringing along that he wants
Who's his
to?
Bella, please?
Probably a college age student, somewhere in that range. And basically he will he goes through the efforts to meet them in a place, and he tries to be spooky and mysterious and vampirically cool, to get the attention of somebody who needs that attention, or somebody who thinks that is the attention that they want. And then he will show them just enough supernatural bullshit to make them think that he is a vampire.
Okay.
And then after that, he's like, "You're special because
We're gonna handle this in 3 rolls because I want this to go poorly for you, and I want the
I
I do too.
and I want the dice to be my accomplice.
Yep.
So
God.
because that's just awful, and
No, that's fair.
It's
anyway, so first I'm gonna need a wits insight roll from you to find the right
To find the
right
target.
emotionally damaged person to exploit.
Yeah. Okay, that's 3 successes.
Okay, yeah, you find some hopeless, very bookish young man who just really needs someone to make them feel special. And then go ahead and let's go the second roll, a charisma persuasion roll.
Alrighty.
Great, you found me when I was 17. I
Oh.
am not at all offended.
need a vampire.
I wanted to be when I grew up.
Yeah. I think all of us did, just a little.
All right, so that is. Ooh, all right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes.
Good God.
You
Okay.
wanted him to fail, and now he's crushing it.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh no, he's charming.
So bestial crit.
A bestial
Oh, did you
crit.
get a?
I got one of my 10s is on a hunger die.
Okay. So yeah, you just suavely get this person into your spell. You tell him all these pretty lies. You make him feel just so very special, and you get him. you get him in a quiet place where they won't hear the screams, and you bite down on him, and you go with gusto. You bring your hunger down to 1 at the very least.
Yep.
But
and I was only at 2 before, so
so you bring it down to 1. It's fine, but you as you're sort of coming out of the blood haze, you realize that you have been a little bit too vigorous in this.
I think that's fair.
And he is bleeding very profusely. Like you've torn at him a little bit. And it's probably more of a wound than even like a lick can resolve. So he is crying, screaming, blood is pouring out of his neck. I am going to need you to give me a dexterity medicine roll.
Dexterity medicine, huh?
Yeah, because this kid is bleeding out from a massive hole in the side of his neck.
Fair. Oh God. I got arrogant.
The worst Christmas ever.
Worst Christmas ever.
I mean,
I was feeling so good.
Yeah, this kid, like, he was on his own.
Oh no!
What'd you do? What'd you do?
I botched on a hunger die.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Would you like to spend willpower to attempt to get a success and not visually fail?
So I thought with willpower spending, I could not.
You can re-roll 3 black dice.
Non-hunger die.
Non-hunger dice, yes.
I was rolling 2 dice as it was, and they
So
were both. One of them was a hunger die, and the other one was.
So
not.
you cannot avoid this bestial critical. So
oh my God!
Not only do you, this poor kid, like, he was out on his own. His family didn't want him back for Christmas. Because he came out to them earlier in the holidays, and so
you bastard!
He was kind of couch surfing, so you got him at the perfect time to just be totally vulnerable to him, and you bite too hard, too fast, and he is bleeding out, and you attempt to patch him up. You try and lick where you can, but as you lick, like, the beast just doesn't fucking care. And you bite him down again, and you take the last of his blood.
You fucking bungled it, Edward.
You fucking bungled it, Edward.
And he's dead.
You could always
have to hide a body on Christmas.
Damn it! I gotta make a phone call.
Willow, I need to use your meat market account.
Oh God, no! I couldn't do that.
You're not gonna look me in the eye.
So
and
we're
say,
gonna leave Roman in the back of some shitty apartment with this corpse. Willow, what's Willow up to in the last hours of Christmas Eve?
She's going to be cyber stalking her ex. How's he doing?
Damn it! Why am I with you people?
Give me an intelligence technology roll.
Go ahead and mark a stain.
Yeah, absolutely. You're getting a stain on your soul.
Yeah.
Like, viewers, I don't want you to think that I'm making light of, like, the terrible situation that just happened.
Yeah.
But that was awful.
Yeah,
it was awful.
It had to be. It had to be awful.
He was just feeling himself a little too hard. And,
you were grooving too hard.
Or
You get back there and you embrace that beautiful goddamn pine cone.
Hell the fuck no. He doesn't deserve that.
What?
Anyway, Willow, what'd you roll?
a 4.
4 successes, fantastic.
Yes.
You catch up on what he's up to.
What's he doing?
You track him down, and he is at the apartment of Gas Station Boy.
Uh-oh.
Why would he ever want to do that?
You don't know, but
Why
you ping the GPS on his phone, and you recognize the apartment complex that he's in.
Uh-oh.
is what she says, just aloud, a very quiet. Oh,
Oh yeah.
What are you gonna do about that?
I'm going to call gas station Greg.
Okay.
But as soon as he picks up, I'm gonna say, "Hey, don't say my name aloud."
Oh my God.
Phone rings a couple times. Hold on. I have to approve a particularly delicious comment. Sorry.
What did you say?
Why would Twitch block the word bestial?
Oh.
What the hell? Twitch?
Bestiality, maybe.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Anyway,
I don't have Twitch up. What's the comment?
it's just Abby was like, it was bestial. Anyway,
Oh God.
so the phone rings a couple times. It picks up. Give me a wits persuasion.
Three.
Yeah, you bolt that out. Don't say my name.
Hey, don't say my name aloud.
Hey,
Greg.
And he's like, hey, Steve.
So, nobody, what are you doing on Christmas? Are you busy? Are you by yourself?
No, I met a guy who wanted to buy some magic cards off of me, and we're making a deal. And yeah, he's a cool guy. He's older.
If you
I
need
think
help,
he might know
will
you.
So, if you're in danger, can you talk about the sword you're trying to sell to me? If you
Steve, I think I need to get to talk. I think I need to talk to this guy some more. It's a real clutch deal, Steve. I think this
no, you're
the
not
yeah
in danger. Okay.
yeah yeah no I maybe we can get together after the New Year's. I think I
Okay.
gotta go.
Cool. I'll talk to you later.
Cool. Yeah. He hangs up.
Fuck. Willow's just sitting there, like, holding her phone, like, on a beanbag in the communal haven, like, oh my God, do I need to go over there?
Cadence, what are you doing as Christmas winds down?
Well, her plans are 100% above board. She wants to at least spend some of this holiday with her brother, so
Okay. Yeah.
he's probably asleep at this point, but she's got her own key to his apartment,
Yeah,
so
he's asleep, but he keeps odd hours. He expects you to
yeah.
show up at all
And
hours of the
tomorrow
night.
when she wakes up, he'll probably be home and they can
Yeah, cool.
yeah, so I imagine she probably got him like a couple like packs of his favorite beer
Mm-hmm.
as a present. So she's just gonna grab that and head out and say,
Okay.
see you losers tomorrow. And
Bye.
So you
spend a low-key evening.
Yeah, you come home. You get into his apartment. When you show up, when you head into the living room area, there is a jacket that you don't recognize hanging over the couch.
Okay. Maybe he got a new jacket, but she's gonna take note of that.
Yeah, it's a woman's jacket.
Oh, okay. So he's got a girl over. That's cool. So where's she gonna hide?
Want to hide in the attic?
I mean, this is a one level apartment.
Oh,
it's
Yeah.
never mind. Do you
Uh,
want to hide in a closet? Get in the fridge?
she's actually sits down on the couch and starts thinking about this. She's like, "Fuck." Because normally, yeah, she just hide out in the bathroom, but that's not gonna be a thing.
Might need that.
All right, so she's just gonna leave the present under the Christmas tree with a quick little note that says, "Spill all of the beans, you creep." And
I know
then
you
she's gonna, I
Says
guess,
the
go
person
back to the communal
sneaking
haven.
a letter.
Okay.
Vampires are wont to do.
So yeah, so you just leave the present and
Yeah.
head out. All right, cool.
No, curiosity's gonna get the better of her. She's gonna see if like there's a wallet or something in the jacket. See who.
Okay, give me a dex stealth.
Okay. Character sheet. Let's not have my dice roll off the table. That's 1.
One success. Yeah, you're quiet. Like you kind of fumble a little bit at getting the wallet out. But yeah, you open it up. You look at the wallet. You look at the picture. You don't recognize the name or anything. But when you look at the picture, the girl in the driver's license,
Mm-hmm.
you can't help but notice the resemblance to yourself. Like she's got a similar haircut. And she look like you look at the height. She's she's around your height. Face doesn't look
Blood's
exactly
making him
right.
weird. All that blood is making him weird, man.
All right. So she's just gonna slip that back into the pocket. And then
Oh,
she's going
delightful.
to walk back to that note, underline all, like 7 separate times, and quietly slip out and think about some things.
Okay,
Head back to the communal haven before the sun comes up.
gotcha. So what is Alex up to?
So
on-
he is going
on
to
this,
send.
the night of our Lord's birth.
He's going to send out presents to his friends. Specifically, he always makes big donations to various charities in the name of. Hold up a second. Let me pull my sheet again because I forgot all of my touchstones names.
Okay.
And they've got great names,
Oh, yeah,
so
they do.
definitely. But he is going to send. Basically, he's just going to send out the his yearly Christmas presents to his people.
Mm-hmm.
In the name of Tasmina Touche, he is going to make a let's say $250,000 donation to the LGBT Alliance, and in her name. For MC McNobody, he is just going to send him like whatever the cool gadget for spinning is right now.
Okay.
And for Mama Perez, he is going to go ahead and pay her rent for the year.
Hell
So
yeah.
it's going to be basically all of my resources for a while.
Oh yeah, no, big time. That is
Yeah.
absolutely a huge expenditure. But you take care of your people. Yeah, I mean that takes that. Getting all that set up on Christmas Eve. You can do most of that from a computer. Is there anything else that you want to take care of?
I'm going to go. I can't think of anything right off the top of my head. I think that Alex is pretty bushed from everything he's been doing and kind of. He's had a lot of visions over the past few
Oh, yeah,
days,
big
and right
times.
now he kind of just wants to like, cool, it's Christmas. I think I'm going to take the night off, and I'm just going to not have any terrifying visions about the future just for this one night.
Wow. Says
Thanks,
God as he
Jesus.
Make a
starts
rouse
to
check for me.
formulate some visions.
Make a rouse check for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see how your luck holds up.
I passed the rouse check.
Okay. Then on this Christmas Eve, you are blessed with a clear head.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's the reason for the season.
Indeed it is. Maybe think about Jesus. I don't know.
I don't really think that's going to happen, but okay.
All right. Well then,
Romanus.
with that atypical end to Alex's night, we're gonna go ahead and close off the game for the night. Thank you guys so much for playing.
Thank you. I had a ton of fun.
Yeah. Thank everyone out there for watching. Thank many of you for giving me terrible things to torment you with.
Yeah.
Holy
Of
shit!
course.
I didn't intend to end the game with fucking with you guys' lives, but that's just what happened.
It feels right. It feels
It feels right.
natural.
Yeah.
We finally get a step ahead. We finally all right, we know what we're doing. We're gonna blow shit up. Let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get fuckled on a personal level.
Absolutely.
So it's only fair.
So yeah, once again, I'd like to
Alex,
go ahead and plug the fact that I'm going to be running a lot of games for Onyx PathCon this upcoming weekend, including the actual play of Trinity Continuum Aeon on Saturday night, 5 p.m. Onyx Path YouTube channel. Definitely check that out. Does anyone else have anything they want to plug?
Huh. So, of course, for everybody who's listened for a while, you know that my game, The Midnight World, is still in development. Our Kickstarter is over. However, if you are interested, if you haven't picked up a copy yet, but you'd like to do that, you can go to Kickstarter and you can find The Midnight World, or you can go to Facebook and you can find our Facebook page, The Midnight World, and there, in both of those places, you will be able to find our backer kit store, where we do have a pre-order store. And I would like to report, first of all, thank all of our people who have helped us out, and I would like to report to you guys that after the Kickstarter closed, we've got an additional $3,000 worth of pre-orders.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Ooh,
Yeah.
There you
fancy.
go.
Good time. If you have not checked this game out, if you have not bought it, absolutely do. It's a phenomenal novel horror game. It's really
Appreciate that.
it does new shit, and that's saying something given that horror gaming has been around for fucking decades.
Yeah.
True.
Anybody else have anything you want to put out there?
Not a plug per se, but so we have mentioned it prior that I'm going to be having a baby soon, so I will be taking the show, I guess, will be taking a
Yeah.
short break while I deal with that. And on the off, so next week is, the next session is my last session before that. But on the off chance that things kickstart a little early, because got to be prepared for that,
Yeah.
I just wanted to say thank you to the people who have been watching and interacting with us, because this has been a blast, and I'm gonna miss you guys.
Yeah.
I'm not gone for good, but I'm gonna miss
Nope.
you in the interim.
Yeah, that is something that we need to discuss. Is that we're planning on taking a break after next episode. Hopefully, McKenna will be able to be there with us. But it's I don't know if I've announced this yet, but this is the second to last arc. So the next arc is going to be the last arc of the game. And I, for one, did not want to do any of that arc without Cadence and McKenna. So we're going to take whatever break we need for McKenna to recalibrate and get used to, new stage of her life. And then we'll come back and finish up this little vampire story. Any other plugs or anything that anybody else wants to shove out there?
I have nothing immediately pressing.
Cool.
I do want to say real quick, and McKenna, it's been really fun for me to watch you go through this journey. I'm a parent, and so I'm excited for you, and I wish you nothing but the best.
Yeah. it's a delight. So I definitely want to thank all of my patrons. If you want to become a patron and support the show, you can go to Simulacra Studios, patreon.com/Simulacra Studios. That's the best way to support the show. There's all sorts of behind-the-screen goodies and, opportunities to interact with the show. And I will love you, especially if you're my $5 patrons, like Miss Mo Ferrer, Mr. James Davey, Mrs. Abby Peterson, Mr. Michael Tyson, Mr. David Haddad, Mr. Eric Ramos. All of you have purchased my love for $5 a month, and it's just
so affordable.
I know. And yeah, so that's that. And so obviously, of course, fuck Nazis. But
Yes.
tonight I wanted to
Especially.
I absolutely fuck Nazis. Tonight I wanted to end the show with just a simple affirmation that Black Lives Matter.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they do.
Lives
So
matter.
yeah, have a good night, everybody. See you later.